Everybody's arch nemesis, a deep rutted corner. If you figure out how to do this the right way, they're not so bad. In fact, for me, it's one of the most fun parts of riding, if not the most fun part of riding. First of all is your entry. You want to be in the attack position, like always, until your braking's complete. One thing I will say is make sure you get off the rear brake nice and early before you get to the turn. If you drag the rear brake too late once you get into the rut, all it's going to do is stand the motorcycle up and make it more difficult to get settled into the corner. You guys will see in this video that I'm just using that front brake to manipulate the lean angle of the bike, and it's really one of those tricks that once you learn how to do it the right way, it almost feels like a roll the corner. So no clutch, use the front brake to find that lean angle. If you find the bike creeping up and out, a little bit of front brake to get that lean angle that you want. In this video, I'm keeping both feet on the pegs, as I always try to do, and what you notice is as long as they're on the balls of your feet and really tight against the frame, you can let that mud, let that dirt scrape up against your boot, and you won't have any issues. In fact, the chance of a foot slipping off the foot peg is far more likely when you have your inside foot down and out for the turn, where how most people do it. It's more likely to catch that way than if you just have it jammed up against the frame the way I do, and you can really grip tight to the bike. Seated position, I am about 3 inches from the front of the seat where you would sit for any style turn. Very upright with the upper body, same as pretty much any style turn. Both elbows up, and I'm trying to stay squared up as much as possible. Nothing really changes from sand corners to rutted corners to bull turns. Body position is pretty universal, which is nice. Once you learn that seated position, you don't really have to tailor much around it. As you can see in this video, I try to sit nice and early. As soon as those braking bumps are done, I get my butt to the seat so that the bike is settled. The suspension is where it's going to be for the turn, and there's no more upsetting the bike from that point forward. If you listen to my RPMs, I'm being really smooth with the throttle. Again, if this is on a graph, it's just doing one of these, just very gradual, even in race pace. Because anytime you whack the throttle and give it too much throttle all at once, it's either going to spin you out if you're not in a good rut, or if you're in a deep rut like this, all it's going to do is immediately stand up the bike. So you have to be very gentle to roll the throttle on. Also, if the bike starts to tip over too much, you have to be aware that a little bit of throttle is all you need to get it back to that proper lean angle. Too much throttle, again, you're too upright. That's the key. That takes practice. A little bit of front brake to get it to go down, a little bit more throttle to get it to go up. The smaller you can make those adjustments, the better off you are, instead of making radical adjustments to the throttle and the front brake. If you're struggling and you're having trouble, strip away some of those extra things and just stand up. I know that sounds weird, but when you stand up, you can unlock your hips and you can allow the bike to lean underneath you with just your lower body. It's actually technically way easier to do that. You can build confidence by standing, and then you can start sitting down after 3 or 4 passes, standing up once you build that confidence back up. When you go to the local track, hit the ruts. They're there for a reason. It makes riding way more fun when you can get good at them and start really getting that flow around the track. Well, there you have it. Rutted turns. Hopefully this helps your riding out a little bit. As always, guys, have fun and be safe out there.